Hello, air signs, and welcome to your daily focus tarot for Wednesday. It's been a long week already. So, the first card that came out was the Nine of Wands, and this is a card about defense, persistence, caution, a final challenge. It can also sometimes mean like you are finding it hard to fully accept your achievement, your newfound strength, your newfound abilities, and you're kind of defensive about this, even though you shouldn't be. It should be something you're celebrating, but you're for some reason defensive on it. And the Magician, this is a card, he's got, hold on a sec. So he's got everything he needs to open up this portal, this gateway, this new door, this new beginning. He's got, everything in balance, and he's got a full understanding of what he's doing. So to start this new day, to start this new life for him, right? And he's got it in balance. So you have what you need, but for some reason you're being overly defensive on it. You're really guarding it. And you're not fully accepting that you've achieved this, right? We have the Seven of Pentacles, which is about harvesting your hard work. And this particular Seven of Pentacles, he looks like he's uncertain if he wants to harvest it, or if he wants to wait until it grows bigger, or if he just wants to leave it. He's not sure. He's very hesitant. And the clarifier for the Seven of Pentacles is the Three of Swords. I'll hold it for you upright. This Three of Swords I don't necessarily look at in terms of heartbreak. I look at it in terms of you're putting away your cutting thoughts. You're putting away like the negativity, and you're learning from it. You're learning from that negativity. It's got a heart of stone, and the swords are resting on the heart of stone, right? In the reverse, so this card, it can talk about needing to mend old wounds, introspection. Even in the reverse, this card is very much talking about introspection. It's talking about putting your negative self-talk away, talking about like seeing with your heart and not necessarily your head or your eyes. So a lot of introspection, a lot of recovery, gaining clarity on whatever the situation is that you're not sure about. And this would be something with the Pentacles. It would be something in the material world, right? It's not just going to be in the spiritual. It's also going to be in the material world. So like this could be, to me, the last, I don't think it was your readings, but the last couple readings I did had a lot to do with living by your values, living by what you believe is right for you and not what other people tell you is right or what you should or shouldn't do. So to me, that could be what this is about. You're focused on healing from what other people told you you should be doing. And then two cards came out at the same time, Six of Pentacles and Two of Pentacles. So these are both cards about balancing something. Two parts of your life, you're juggling them, you're out of balance, you're kind of, I think of this card as she's like trying not to walk on eggs. She's trying to dance and trying to catch all of these, and she's got all this movement with her hair echoing the waves down here that are echoing the figure 8. And the key is to balance. The key is to stop juggling your time, stop juggling these two parts of your life, and get them in balance. This card is the card of balancing things, right? And you'll notice the scales that she's holding. She's kind of dressed like the Hermit, but also kind of like the Justice card. And in the Justice card, the scales are tipped, right? Whereas here they're balanced. So this card is talking about balance, and it generally talks about balancing giving and receiving. And you see a gal and a guy here. But to me, it's not just balancing like masculine and feminine sides of yourself or about balancing giving and receiving. It's about balance in general. It's about something being out of whack, especially with the Two of Pentacles here. You're juggling too much. Time-wise or energy-wise, you need to get your energy back to yourself. And the clarifier for both of these cards came out sideways, Nine of Swords. I'll show you upright. So Nine of Swords is the card of anxiety. It's the card of fears, nightmares. The swords being the thoughts, the double-edged thoughts, sort of like cutting thoughts, backhanded compliments, sometimes, and like I said, sometimes nightmares. But to me, this is more talking about you're juggling this stuff and you're out of balance because you're afraid. You're anxious and you're afraid. Like about your money, about your house, your job, your family, probably your money or your house with all these pentacles. And that's causing you to lose sight of priorities. It's causing you to lose sight of like what's necessary in life. I mean, it's fine and dandy to have a job that pays a lot or to have a nice house if that's what you really want, but then you have to think excuse me, what are you going to give up for it? Are you going to give up spending time with your friends, spending time with your family, doing your hobbies, maintaining that house even? Because if you're working all the time, you obviously can't be, taking care of your yard or your garden or your house. You're basically just taking care of your job. And you don't have time for those things. So Nine of Swords, this fear and anxiety that's causing you to be imbalanced is something you need to look at. Is it really worth all this fear and anxiety? Is it really worth this negativity to have whatever these things that you're juggling and imbalanced about in your life? Now at the bottom of the deck, Prince of Pentacles, Prince of Wands. These are Knights in other decks, so they're about action. This one taking very slow action, but he's not, he's kind of caught between being defensive, but he's kind of lackadaisical about it with a sword like that. But he's got his shield up there right at the top of his vision. He's got the shield and it's sort of blocking his face, so he's sort of like hiding behind that shield. And you could be hiding behind something. Like if you wanted, if you have a nice big house and you're anxious about being able to balance that with your family, are you really hiding behind your house? You're hiding behind like a certain job title or an object. Maybe you feel, we've all heard the stories of people who feel insecure, so they get, like a midlife crisis car or a midlife crisis house. Don't be the person who's hiding behind something physical to boost your spirits, to boost your own value in your own eyes. That doesn't work. So Prince of Wands, he's inspired action. He's, making that mole out of a mountain hill nothing. He's jumping over it like it's nothing. And then we have Six of Pentacles in this deck. And this one, it's also obvious that it's about giving and receiving physical things. And stuff like it can be about one-sided pity. It can be about just having an imbalance in that area of your life. And giving and receiving doesn't necessarily mean giving and receiving physical things. Pentacles are physical things, but it can also talk about like spiritual things. It can talk about like people kind of stealing your time. Like you're the one who always has to contact them. They never contact you first, and then when you get together, they're like, oh, I left my wallet at home, I forgot, that sort of thing. So like users and abusers, it can be. Sometimes it's not giving me that vibe today. To me, it's giving the vibe of you needing to set your priorities better. Underneath that, we have the Hangman, which is talking about sacrificing for knowledge and setting up structures that are going to help you get that knowledge and get to the place that you want to be. And under that, the Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords, it can be, this is definitely about the workplace. So it can be about hackers, it can be about workplace gossipers, it can be about somebody trying to stab you in the back at work, but it can also be about you overworking because you're worried, you're stressed, you're anxious, worried about your finances, losing your job, not pleasing your boss, whatever the worry is. You see him sitting there with, he's got a headache, or he's trying to stay awake as he's writing long into the night. And he's got these swords, and they're not even really lined up. They're just kind of everywhere, right? But he's clearly not using them. The pen is mightier than the sword, and the pen is more useful. So he's not really using these thoughts either against himself or against anybody else. He's not using the balance of the knife blade or the sword blade. He's not, he's using a feather. He's using air and light to gain knowledge. He's writing down that knowledge even. Maybe it would help you to write out what it is that you really want, like what it is that you value most. And that's never a bad thing to focus on, okay? To like sort of, and if you've done that, like you did your goals for the year at New Year's or whenever, it's never a bad idea to go back and look at those and see if you're still on track with them, or see if something has changed and now there's something that has more value, right? So take action, take action to balance this, to get this card of fear and anxiety out of there. Use your knowledge, use your thinking, okay? And believe in yourself, Don't have imposter syndrome. It's not real. Don't let your thoughts get the best of you. There's no need to be defensive. You can create this new day. Okay? I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good Wednesday.